everybody, it's Charlie again. I'm currently playing Shaolin vs. Wutang 2, The Return of the Martial Masters. This will be another replay review in 2025, but yeah, other than that, let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy. What's up guys, welcome back to another replay review. As you can see, Buddhist Palm versus Monkey Kung Fu. Yeah, this is a part 2 that I've been waiting for to be on the PSN store. I know it came out on PC a while back. People were telling me there's a part 2. I'm aware that there's a part 2, but it wasn't available for me. So now that it is, I ended up getting it and having a great time. The technique, the precision, everything has been redone in a better way. The graphics already look better and the techniques look more refined. Like the hits look like they're landing more. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like... It looks less indie in a good way, right? Because indie is still good, but you know, it looks refined. Like it's more balanced. The balancing, they got it down perfectly for this game. Here we have Leopard Style versus Tiger Kung Fu, which is called Hangar, some people call it. And yeah, it's just badass backdrops. As you can see, we're in the Great Wall of China right behind us. The environments look amazing. Obviously, I would recommend playing this on a 4K TV because it looks even better. But regardless, the game feels really nice to play. The finishers are back. There's 2 grab moves now. You guys will notice if you hold back and you press, square and X, and if you just press square and X, there's the one from the last game. So that's great. The little enhancements here and there do the trick. The sound effects are actually improved as well. They're less, gimmicky, I guess. I don't know how to call it. The ambient sound is more, obvious. When it's raining or there's fog or something, there's trees, or birds and stuff. You could hear it in the background more clearly. Obviously, the music is still going to be copyrighted, guys. And obviously, the introduction of one of our favorite martial artists, Tony Jaa, fighting the snake style guy. I still don't know what actor is doing snake style in the game, but his moves look very similar to Jackie Chan's snake style, but it's obviously not Jackie Chan. Tony Jaa, though, has all of his Muay Thai moves from Ombak and some from Tom Yum Goon, which is the protector. And if you see the elephant bones on his back, so they kind of merge a couple of things together. They don't have his clothes from the protector because it's not that iconic, but they do have his Ombak stuff in here, which is really cool. They haven't managed prime, right? That's what matters. Anyways, yeah, the fights are obviously 2 rounds to 3 rounds depending on who wins the rounds. That's still in there. You could change the settings however you want. There is quite a few of them, but very basic, guys. This is an indie game. You guys know how it goes. These games don't really go in depth on anything. But I think for what it is, for an indie fighter, this one is one of the best ones you can get. I don't know how many there are, but I think this one is better than the first game in terms of gameplay, graphics, and refinement. Where the hits look like they land. There's a little bit more blood effects as well. I'm sure you can tell when the hits land, they look more brutal. There's actually a bit more of a dodging effect that you have to be more accurate with it. You can't just get out of trouble by holding back anymore like in the first game. And they've fixed the difficulty modes. They used to be too easy on the first game. Now they feel more difficult, more proper so the AI is also reworked. Since this is only a local co-op game, or a local, you can't do multiplayer online still, unfortunately, but that's one of the setbacks. Here's a roster with some of your favorite martial artists: Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Tony Jaa, Donnie Yen. But it's a much smaller roster, guys. Legendary Bruce Lee with his iconic shirtless. He's fighting in the Coliseum. See in the backdrop, they call it the British ruins or something like that. But that's the Coliseum. And Chuck Norris finally looks and plays like Chuck Norris, which is great. Breakable environments, as you saw, some of the walls break in the background. Just like in the first game, there's breakable stuff. But yeah, the techniques and everything, they fight more like the way they would in real life. Obviously, this is more of the Bruce Lee from Enter the Dragon, but they have his clothes from Return of the Dragon as well. But the haircut, that's Enter the Dragon. Regardless, you could put some of these legendary fights together to get you really into the action, kung fu style. You got hairy back on Chuck Norris right there, because you couldn't have him shirtless in the other game. You could put a beard and a mustache on him as well. So they do have outfits as well, which is another improvement that I enjoyed. So there's a few improvements. The only setback is the roster. It's a lot smaller, you know, but what they did with the balancing is perfect, guys. So yeah, you got a crap load of improvements, but yeah, the roster is a thing. Anyways, you see Bruce going wild here on this historic. Chuck is fighting back. He's not just letting Bruce walk all over, but we all know the outcome of this fight. Anyways, it's cool, it's thrilling, like I said. The colors are better as well, I noticed that. There's few details here that I was like, okay, it's going to have to get you used to this. This doesn't play like the first game in a lot of ways, but it's really good. Jet Li, Jackie Chan, another historic fight. If you didn't know, they did fight in one movie, The Forbidden Kingdom. It was only one brief scene, but it was good enough that it made the movie, because everything else in the movie is just mediocre, except for that fight, because we finally got to see them together in a movie, you know? So it's cool that you can redo that. Obviously, this is Jackie Chan from Drunken Master 2. They finally have his outfit, which is really cool. And they did expand on his drunken technique. They all have 2 grab moves that are pretty interesting if you try them out. They got Jet Li. They refined his moves as well, because this is Jet Li from Once Upon a Time in China. So, you know, he's those fly kicks and all that, you know, Jet Li in his prime. So, yeah, it's just really cool. And I try to do a backdrop where they're like in a temple, remember, in the Forbidden Kingdom. So this is what it would look like if they were both in their prime going at it, which everybody would have wanted, right? Because they're a little bit already older in the Forbidden Kingdom. But hey, at least it happened, right? Anyways, there's a fan. Everything just looks and plays better. There's no other way to put it. And it's authentic choreography. It comes out looking just like the movies, guys. As you notice, there is no HUD in the background. I removed it just to make it more cinematic, right? Some people wouldn't want that because they need to see their health, and if they have a super move, I don't care about that. I just winged it. I like to play it to you know, movie levels of fun. Yeah, but you see the moves of both Jet Li and Jackie Chan, way more authentic. They cause way more of an impact, and they feel like they hit harder as well. So there's a lot of cool things that they added to the game. I've named as many as I could. Like I said, the biggest negative for me is by far the roster. That's it. The roster is just a lot smaller. Everything else has been refined, redone to the best of the capabilities of the developers. So this is a must play. This is $16, I believe, $15.99. So it's fairly cheap at the PlayStation Store. We're halfway through the review though, guys, so I'm gonna give this game a 9 out of 10. I only went a 0.5, I think, over from the last review. I think I gave the first one a 0.5 or an 8, an 8.5 or an 8. But regardless, this is a 9. I couldn't give it any higher. But as an indie fighter, this is definitely a 9. One of those games that you should get if you like. If you're a fan of old school martial arts movies, like I said as the other game, this one even more so, because this one has that change of outfits. This one has more backdrops where you can relive certain fights, and the balancing is stellar. Okay, and if you guys want to play this online, you can if you use something called SharePlay on PlayStation. I don't know if they have it on anything else. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it on PC, maybe, I don't know. But I know that SharePlay is still technically a way to play local co-op with your friend in his house somewhere, wherever he lives, you know. It's only an hour per session, but then you can restart the arrow as many times as you want. So yeah, I recommend SharePlay on PlayStation. But yeah, anyways, guys, Van Damme versus Bolo Bloodsport, of course. Legendary backdrop. You see the fans and everything. You could tell they're at the Kumite, right? And they don't have the shorts though for Van Damme, the tight shorts for the end fight, but they have his long ninjutsu pants, because that's the style that Frank Dukes did. That's what it's based on, guys. Frank Dukes, everybody knows him. But yeah, overall, I think. Oh, also, if you look at the backgrounds, the fire and everything looks more vibrant. Like, they did little touches here and there. There is some weird screen tearing that occurs at times that you'll notice from time to time, but it's not something that your eyes will catch. Anyways, Backgrounds, pretty cool ones, guys. Like I said, ranging from the Coliseum to the Great Wall to, I mean, the works. You could be at a Chinese restaurant, a brothel was there. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Fighting in the snow is still there, right? Donnie Yen, Wing Chun, guys. Ip Man. Of course, fighting lizard style. I've never heard of lizard style, guys. If you guys have seen a movie where they use lizard style, please let me know. I don't know what that is. I don't know if this character's in the first game. I don't think he is, but can you expand on that? I don't know if it's a real style in real life. That's the only one that I'm like, that's one of the only ones that I'm like, what is this? What movie? Did I miss that movie? Because I'm a kung fu buff, and I used to love these martial arts movies, and I just can't remember. As you saw the background, and the vase just burst, right? Because of that Wing Chun power. Yeah, like they, you know, it just feels choreographed to the T in the best way possible. If you enjoy the art of the martial art, then that's what these kung fu movies are about. A lot of people go, that wouldn't work in real life. That's not the point of kung fu movies, guys. It's the art version of the martial, of the art. That's hard to explain. But yeah, the choreography is what you appreciate with the techniques and the hand-to-hand. But yeah, so far, I kept playing for quite a few. I beat it several times. I have 3 videos that I put up as well of me just going through the arcade mode or whatever. And it was a lot of fun. They also have their classical weapons. Their weapons actually clink on each other even better when you block. And yeah, there's nothing more to say than, yeah, check this out. Here's the water effects. They've improved quite a bit. The only 2 actresses or martial artists in the game are these 2 characters here. One does karate, Shinryu karate, I think, and the other one does Lotus Palm Kung Fu. But yeah, you can't see their names. Their names are basically their styles. I don't recall. I may recall the karate girl, but I don't really know. The point is that the techniques are badass. Look at the moves, guys. It's insane. Water effects, you hear the splashes. When they're walking in the snow, you hear the crunching of the snow. I don't know why I forgot to put the snow level in here. I probably should have, but I did it in the first video, and it's basically that level from the first game. But yeah, I just had a great time. You know, it has several modes as well. I think I did put a clip to show you the several modes. They may have added a few. The first game had a limited mode option, but I think, yeah, this game sits pretty good at a 9 out of 10. Here's the modes, guys. Versus arcade training, team battle, tag team, survival. Survival is hard as hell, guys. Tournament, and your high scores, right? Yeah, survival is probably the hardest mode if you want to try that. Yeah, they improved the difficulty, which is something that was much needed from the first game. Here is the great Jim Kelly with his American karate against, oh shit, I don't remember this character, but he does Kyokushin. He's from the Street Fighter, guys, and he does Kyokushin karate, which is the karate that I took years ago, and which is pretty brutal style. I don't think they do it genuinely. I think this is Kyokushin from the movies, a more choreographed version. But I'm pretty sure the movie might be the Street Fighter from the 70s. I don't really remember right now. I'm gonna do a whole martial arts thing. I'm gonna go through a lot of these movies to see and I remember. And I think they got all kinds of Jim Kelly clothes in this. He has a pretty good variety. But there is a finisher. But anyways, guys, yes, a 9 out of 10. I think you should check this out. Only $15.99. 100% worth your purchase. And I'm so glad that they updated it in the best way possible for the second game. I hope they do a DLC where they add more characters. But yeah, guys, like I said, 9 out of 10. Check it out. But I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe when you get a chance. And like I always say, go good.